There is a feminine soul from the past, one whose energy once touched your journey in ways you never fully understood, that has just awakened. But this is not an awakening born of love. It is the stirring of a shadow that refuses to leave. And you, a Sagittarius, whose spiritual map is illuminated by Jupiter, are beginning to feel it. Not through nightmares, but through invisible interruptions in the flow of your daily life. A sense that something is watching. As if your freedom, the most sacred thing you've guarded, is being placed inside an invisible cage. But you can't see it because it doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the lingering energy of an old pact, an unbalanced soul tie. This time they won't be able to stop you. Because the truth has already been revealed, not by any human, but through the tarot, through the universe, through the fire now rising within you. You are no longer here to relive what already happened. You are here to end it, to break the pattern, to become the final link in the ancestral line who brings the cycle to its close, through awakening and compassion. If you feel your heart racing right now, stay. Because this reading is not just a warning, it is a ceremony of liberation. A doorway has opened for you to enter the deepest cleansing, not just for you, but for the generations who came before you. Today, the universe, through the light of the 12th house in your chart, is sending you an ancestral promise. The chance to end a cycle that didn't begin with you, but can finish because of you. If this resonates somewhere deep within, don't just listen. Listen with your soul. You're invited to enter the energy field of 15 sacred rituals I've prepared, not to frighten you, but to walk you through. Breaking unconscious soul contracts, cleansing your energetic field, and raising your vibration so you can return to your true self, strong, free, unbound. Now then, we begin your reading. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to this sacred encounter, one you did not arrive at by chance. You came because your soul heard a silent call. A call not meant for the ears, but for the one ready to see the unseen. You are a traveler between the world of form and the world of feeling. You know that when the wind changes direction, it is not just the weather that shifts, but a cosmic frequency trembling to announce a revelation. Your freedom, Sagittarius, is your compass, and when it begins to hum, you know a new path is forming. Lately, have you been dreaming strange dreams? Sensing memories that don't belong to this life? Seeing people appear in your world as if they've been there before for a long time? That is not coincidence. Those are fragments of soul memory. Reminders that what you are feeling, even if no one else sees it, is real. And then, the first card appears, 7 of Swords. The message needs no long explanation. There is an eye watching you, but not the gaze of admiration. It is the gaze of control, hiding behind a wound that has not yet healed. Someone who once walked a part of your path now feels discomfort at your growth. She is not a stranger, but she is no longer someone you need to carry. She is a soul with a gentle exterior, soft-spoken words, but inside, she holds knots that were never untied. And from those knots, a small but persistent darkness is trying to slip into your energy. Wishing you would not laugh so loudly, would not love so fully, would not live so unapologetically. But you, Sagittarius, were not born to ask permission for freedom. You were born to light the path for those who've never known what freedom feels like, to rise above the limitations of your own bloodline, and to be the living proof that suffering can be transformed if we are brave enough to face it, and you are doing just that. If you feel your heart opening with every word, leave behind a sign. I choose to end this cycle with my own light. And don't forget to share this reading, because perhaps there's another soul still waiting for you to be set free. Sagittarius, you are the one who always chooses truth, even when truth cuts like a blade. Because you know, a gentle lie cannot save a soul that is thirsty to awaken. You can feel it, can't you? This is not a new energy. It is an old cycle, once frozen, now stirring again, because you are evolving. And the brighter your light grows, the more unsettled the shadows become, the ones that never dared to shine. The moon card appears, a warning, but not to scare you. A reminder that something invisible is moving in your energetic field. If you felt exhausted for no clear reason, if you've woken with sadness that doesn't belong to this present moment, then know you are walking through a spiritual fog where old promises, memories, and unspoken wounds are whispering to hold you back in a reality that is no longer yours. But then, your strength rises. The Nine of Wands appears, not to speak of defeat, but to honor your resilience. Even when the fire inside you nearly faded, you kept going. Even when you were betrayed, misunderstood, judged, you never abandoned your light. But there is one wound you have not fully faced. A wound not on the surface, formless, nameless, yet still holding you back at the threshold of full freedom. The Six of Cups opens, revealing that the root of this cycle is ancient. Not just from this life, but from soul agreements. Ties once born in innocence, but slowly stained with jealousy, control, and a hunger to possess. That woman, she does not need to look threatening. In fact, she may seem sweet, speak gently, yet plant in you a seed of doubt that you're not enough, that you don't deserve to be fully loved, that your light makes others uncomfortable. And that made you shrink yourself. But the universe has not abandoned you. The Queen card appears, a symbol of the sacred bloodline flowing through you. A reminder, you are not alone. Beside you walk ancient feminine spirits, invisible ancestors, souls who went before you, and are quietly guiding you now to break the old vow, to open a future no longer chained to the past. This is not just a personal moment. It is a moment for your entire soul lineage. Every time you release a bond, hundreds of souls are released with you. And then the Two of Swords appears. Like a mirror, it shows that you are denying something. Perhaps a relationship, perhaps a sacred feeling, perhaps a belief you once mistook for loyalty, but in truth, it has become a chain. You are Sagittarius, the zodiac sign that loves freedom more than anyone else. And yet, you are still bound by the very things you once loved most: love, fear of abandonment, habits disguised as safety. But now, your soul can no longer bear this contradiction. The next card arrives, the Knight of Pentacles, quiet, but grounded. He represents a new frequency, true love, partnership, a stable life. But he cannot yet step in, because the space meant for him is still occupied by energies that have not yet been cleared. Your evolution is bumping into old memory. And then, justice appears. And when justice shows itself, nothing can remain hidden. That woman, that shadow, is not holding on to you out of love. She clings because if she lets you go, you will take with you the mirror that reflects her limitations. Your peace makes her feel judged. Your growth reveals her fear. Justice does not come as punishment. Justice comes to give you a choice. Will you keep carrying what no longer belongs to you just because it feels familiar? Or will you let go, even if it means losing something you once believed was a part of you? If you've made it here and something deep inside you is opening, write this down. I am no longer a sanctuary for old limitations. And share this reading because someone out there may be searching for your light to find their way. With every conscious breath you take, with every moment you choose not to react, but to silently witness, another invisible thread from the past is gently breaking. Sagittarius, you don't have to run to be free. You just need to see the truth and choose not to return. The next card appears, the Hanged Man. It is not an accusation. It is a sacred whisper from the soul realm, that sometimes what hurts you is not the wound itself, but the way you've seen it. That person, whose energy still lingers in your field, did not only send you envy, she also caused you to unconsciously receive it as if it were something you deserved. Her judgment became the whisper inside your inner voice. Her pain cast its shadow on your definition of compassion. But now, because you have seen it, you can transmute it. And this, Sagittarius, is your moment of rebirth. The next card reveals itself, Eight of Swords. At first glance, it shows imprisonment, but if you look with your soul, you will see a message of liberation. You've been living with thoughts that were never truly yours. You felt guilty for wanting more. You've doubted yourself for desiring a life larger than what you were allowed to claim. All those whispered words, don't be selfish, don't change, be reasonable, they were not wisdom. They were velvet chains, a form of control disguised under the name of love. And slowly, you began to believe that it was you holding yourself back. But no, it wasn't you. It was that voice. A voice cloaked in affection, but laced with doubt, planting confusion around your right to live authentically. Then the next card unfolds, a figure you know well, the Fool. But today the Fool doesn't arrive as a reckless wanderer. He comes as someone brave, one who dares to drop the old baggage, one who dares to leave the place once called safe, one who dares to step into the unknown with no map, armed only with faith in themselves. This is no longer a warning. This is an invitation to release what no longer serves, to walk toward what no one else can see, but your soul remembers. You were born to move toward the horizon, Sagittarius, not to decorate a golden cage. And if you still find yourself holding back, afraid to disappoint, afraid to shine too brightly, afraid to be too different, then what holds you is not love. It is a memory that no longer belongs in your life. And in the moment you are just about to break free, the Four of Cups appears, a ghost of hesitation. It whispers, "Are you sure? You'll lose everything if you undo this." But the tarot won't let you stay in that illusion. The cards remind you, what doesn't help you grow is not love. It is attachment, a form of loyalty to pain. And then, within that fog, a star flickers, the star. This is your inner compass, the lighthouse born with the soul of Sagittarius, the cosmic traveler. Now your inner guide has awakened. You are no longer walking alone. You are no longer stumbling in the dark. You are opening a corridor of light, not just for yourself, but for your entire soul lineage. Those who never dared to say no are now borrowing your energy to be released along with you. But don't expect the past to retreat quietly. It will reach for you, through old voices, through beautiful memories, through the most delicate guilt. But remember, you are not here to please others. You are here to live fully in your light. If you've made it to this point, and your heart is beating to a new rhythm, write this down. I choose the horizon, not the cage. And share this tarot reading, because the light you found might guide another soul still lost in familiar whispers. The next card turns over, Five of Wands, and it confirms what you've already sensed in the energy. A resistance is rising, the final contraction from the shadows. Someone can feel their grip on you weakening, and so they will try to tighten it. It might come as an unexpected message, a call that seems harmless, a shared memory, a soft voice from a place you left behind. But Sagittarius, don't be mistaken. It's not love that has changed her behavior. It is the hunger to control, wrapped in the language of emotion. This card does not only reflect outer conflict, it reveals the inner collision between what you've already outgrown and what once kept you safe in familiar fear. But just as all those old energies begin to pull you back, Ace of Cups appears, like a stream of light pouring into your heart. This is not love with conditions, not a relationship built on duty or guilt. It is the purest love, perhaps from someone new, or perhaps from your own heart, now finally cleansed. A heart no longer guided by outside voices, a heart that finally belongs to you. But for this sacred cup to be filled, you must clear out everything that no longer matches your frequency. Not because you're ungrateful, but because you're growing. Not because you're selfish, but because you are returning to your true self. And then, the world opens before you, an old cycle, complete. Not because someone did something wrong, but because you chose not to repeat it. You are closing an energetic legacy, a karmic pattern sown through generations, never named, but now, through your awakening, finally recognized. And when the old wheel stops turning, a new one begins to move. A new cycle, guided by the true mission of your soul. But for this transformation to become real, you cannot just feel it. You must command it, with your mind, your body, your voice, your spirit. So from this sacred space, the tarot invites you to declare, I break every invisible contract that blocks the expansion of my soul. I choose freedom. Write it, speak it, shout it from your heart as an energetic decree, as a proclamation to the universe that you are ready to reclaim your life. Sagittarius, can you feel it? Every sudden thought, every nameless feeling, every moment your heart tightens, then opens again. It is not random. It is a spiritual dance happening between you and the memories stored in your subtle body. And the next card appears, Judgment. Not punishment, but a call to rebirth from the higher realms. You are being invited to look at your story, not through the lens of pain, but through the wisdom forged in light. That woman, that shadow, she is not just someone out there. She is a symbol of all the parts in your lineage that were never brought to light. And you are the channel of transformation. But before liberation comes, you must dare to look at the Three of Swords. Not to reopen the pain, but to remember that some part of you is still waiting for closure. Maybe it's a betrayal you pretended not to feel, a decision you thought was yours but was really made from fear, a relationship that broke apart but never ended in clarity. These things, they're not coming back to punish you, they're returning to offer you a second chance. And then, Queen of Wands appears, the image of powerful feminine energy, once enchanting, once magnetic, but also once manipulative. She once radiated until her shadow outgrew the light she dared to admit, and when she saw you shining, living truthfully, being loved, she felt threatened. And that disappointment can no longer be hidden behind the mask of advice. It is a wave of control wrapped in the cloak of concern. But at last, Six of Swords carries you away from the old shore. It's not an easy journey. It asks you to let go of the old self, the old dreams, even the version of you once loved. But it is not loss, it is liberation. And just when you think you can't move forward anymore, the sun, your Sagittarius sun, appears. No more masks, no more invisible ropes, no more blame. Everything returns to its rightful place. And you know, with more certainty than ever, this card was never my punishment. It is an invitation to rewrite my own destiny. Then the next card turns over, Ten of Swords. At first glance it looks dark, but for Sagittarius, one who has journeyed through the deepest layers of the soul, you see the truth. This is not tragedy. This is release. Because today you are letting go of a version of yourself, a version shaped by pain, by expectations, by other people's words about you, a version that made you shrink, speak softly, love quietly, laugh smaller, just so no one would be uncomfortable. You once believed that if you made yourself smaller, softer, they would stay. But the truth is, no one truly loves the light by asking it to dim. And today, that version ends. Not in tears, but in dignity. Not in fear, but in the light of awareness. The sword, the blade of clarity has touched you, and from this moment on, you no longer need to justify your truth. You know what you know. You see what you couldn't see before. Your intuition? Now a living compass. Not to uncover the mystical, but to discern truth from disguise. And you don't need anyone else to explain that to you anymore. Then, King of Cups enters, a masculine symbol of maturity and deep emotional understanding. He may be someone new, arriving in your life with calm presence and grounded balance. Or he may be you, a forgotten part of yourself. The part that knows how to love you unconditionally. The part that no longer needs others to hold up your emotions. The part that can dwell peacefully in your own inner world, no matter the chaos outside. And this new connection, whether with another or with your sacred self, cannot exist in the same space as old energy. Because old attachments cannot survive in a new frequency. Sweet words with hidden hooks will find no place in a heart that has become translucent. For the new to take root, you must close the old door completely. And so, the tarot offers you the Chariot. Not a call to hurry, but a journey with purpose and direction. Not an escape, but a forward step with faith and sovereignty. You've waited long enough, you've reflected, you've healed in silence. And now, Sagittarius, you move. No more emotional crutches, no more waiting for permission. You hold the reins of your own fate, and the universe bows before such courage. But like all rebirths, you know, there must be surrender. Not to the dark, but to the true light within. And sometimes, what must be released is what you once cherished most. That's when the tower appears. Not collapse, but liberation. Structures that once protected you have become your prison. Bonds that once sheltered you now block your frequency. Everything you once called me is now being released to become something greater. And just as the dust of your soul's autumn begins to settle, the Hermit appears. No one is leading you now. No applause is needed. Only you and the quiet, eternal light within you. That voice, you no longer deny it. It knows, even when no one affirms you. It understands, even when others still reject you. This card doesn't urge you to go faster. It reminds you, you don't need noise to know you're right. You don't need a crowd to know you matter. Because the path you walk, though it may seem lonely, is sacred. And every step you take is clearing the way for those who will come after. If your soul feels quiet as these words sink in, write this down. I release the old version of myself. I am reborn in the truth of my soul. And if this touches you, share it as a ripple of healing for someone standing at the edge of change. From the very place you once questioned yourself, from the moments you whispered, "Was it my fault?" true strength has risen. And the tarot, as a sacred witness, honors this turning point with the card Nine of Cups. This is not a reward given by anyone. This is the state of being you have entered by daring to walk through darkness. Joy, peace, fulfillment, no longer fleeting emotions, but a sacred space within you that no one can take away, because no one but you created it. You no longer search for yourself in other people's eyes. You no longer chase validation, because you know who you are. But as with every awakened soul, you know light does not come alone. And the tarot reminds you of this with the card Five of Cups, not because of that woman, but because of everything you built around her. The story, the memory, the hope, the if-onlys. You are fire, Sagittarius, but you are also heart. Let yourself grieve. Let yourself cry if needed. Don't deny any of it, because those tears are the bridge to a new land you are always meant to reach. And just like that, Two of Cups appears, not to speak of blind love, but of true soul connection. Something is arriving, not necessarily romantic love, but a profound reunion between you and the part of your soul that had been forgotten, or simply a reunion with yourself, after years of separation caused by expectations that were never yours to carry. And yet these sacred things cannot enter as long as resentment remains. That's why the tarot brings you Temperance. This card is the space where the two energies within you, masculine and feminine, logic and feeling, dance together. You've blamed yourself for far too long. You've asked, "Why didn't I see this sooner?" But Sagittarius, everything arrives on time. There are no mistakes, only the journey. And now, you no longer need to force anything. Not yourself, not your feelings, not anyone. But just as you enter this gentle phase, the tarot reminds you, not everyone will celebrate your light. Seven of Wands confirms this. Someone may return, with a new face, new words, a different tactic. But you are not who you used to be. You have nothing to prove, because your energy now speaks for you. Your light is your shield, and your truth is your eternal protection. And then, Eight of Cups appears, not to urge you to walk away in anger, but to walk away with gratitude. You don't have to leave physically, you leave spiritually. You step away from spaces where you no longer grow, from conversations that no longer nourish, from emotions that once kept you spinning in place. This departure is a sacred act of self-love. And as you cross that threshold, 10 of Pentacles appears as a divine confirmation. Your lineage, your ancestors, the ancient souls who have walked with you across many lifetimes, they are all witnessing this moment. Not because you chose to leave, but because you chose truth. You are not just freeing yourself, you are freeing the souls who never had the chance to do this. You are clearing a path for future generations to walk in a freer frequency. And if you've come this far, if your heart is beating slower now, if your tears have begun to feel warm, write this down. I no longer walk in fear. I choose truth as a sacred act of love. You've come this far, Sagittarius. Not to go back, but to become. Sagittarius, this is no longer a tarot reading. This is a sacred rite of passage. If something inside you just stirred, if you feel as though these words were written for you, then you know. This is not coincidence. The universe chose you to remember, chose you to break the pattern, chose you to rewrite the destiny. The cards are about to be sealed. But before that, a final invitation for your soul. If you wish to mark your presence in this sacred ceremony, leave this in the comments. I choose my expansion. I break all contracts that limit my freedom. I am fire. I am truth. I am a soul awakened. This declaration is not just words. It is an energetic signal, a seal between you and the universe. And then, the High Priestess, Sagittarius, appears. This card doesn't bring new information. It confirms what you've always known, that your intuition is your most sacred tool. Stop doubting it. Stop asking for permission to feel what you feel. You are seeing what others cannot yet see. And that doesn't make you different in a lonely way. It makes you the one who opens the gate. It is your gift, your legacy, your Sagittarius soul. Immediately after, King of Swords appears. A conversation is coming, perhaps with someone who once made you tremble, or perhaps the deepest conversation you will ever have with yourself. This time, there will be no avoidance, no silence forced upon you, no more soft lies rooted in the fear of being left behind. Clarity will be the foundation, honesty will be the key, and peace will be your reward. And just as your heart opens wider than ever before, Ace of Pentacles appears. A tangible blessing, a solid, real beginning, a new home, a new love, a vibrant project, a life that finally matches your frequency. Nothing you let go of was in vain, not a single tear was wasted. All of it was a prayer that has now been answered. And to seal this journey, the magician, Sagittarius, steps forward. You no longer carry the poison, you've turned it into medicine. No longer drowning in chaos, you've transformed it into purpose. No longer living in fear, you've learned to create from truth. And now, everything you need was always within you. You are enough, you are true, you are ready. So this reading does not end, it opens a new cycle, a new doorway, a new you, a new light, activated from within. If your heart feels touched, leave a sign, just a whisper, a comment, a like, or simply your presence. Not to be seen, not for the algorithm, but so the universe and you can witness this choice. You are not here by chance, you are guided along a silent roadmap your soul always knew. And in this moment, as you read these final lines with full presence, something within you has begun to awaken. This moment is not the ending, it is a doorway opening from deep within you,